Hello and welcome to my comic book YouTube channel centering around the Chupacomics brand. As you notice, I got my new sizzle reel up. Latest news is that in December I'm going to be launching a Kickstarter for my storyline set in the 1980s Boston called Kill the Messenger. It's about a bike messenger. I don't think anyone in the realm of comics has ever made a comic book about a bike messenger before. It was originally going to be about the punks, about punk rock in the 1970s and 80s, but I read one book by it and it was really, really depressing. So I kind of changed gears, no pun intended, and decided to go on that tactic. Anyway, that's coming up in December. I have a new segment that I'm introducing in these kind of tutorial but also newsworthy talks about comics, and I'm mining the rich field of Reddit to find subjects to talk about. And I want to emphasize that these are meant to be productive and positive, even though I have very strong opinions after working in comics for a long time about well, basically entertainment in general, but comics especially. So this will be a two-parter. I'm going to talk about from a writing aspect, somebody who had a question on Reddit, and then after I get done with that, I'll do a screen grab video of going through a comic book that somebody made on Reddit that wanted to have it critiqued from a artistic standpoint. So let's get at it. First half is going to be the writing, and second half will be the artistic side. The writer, I'll leave their name anonymous, but I'll talk about what they posted on Reddit. My current plan for my comic series is to focus each issue on a different character in a shared universe. I came up with this when I realized that my side characters had more depth than my planned main character. I decided to focus each issue on one of them instead of only having the one main character. Is this a good idea? I think it will help flesh out the world, but it might make an underlining plot difficult. Is this too messy? Have any of you tried something like this before? Give me your thoughts. Okay, first of all, his post on Reddit, he drops off putting capital letters on the last couple sentences, and he forgot to capitalize I as the possessive I in the second sentence. So coming from, you claim that you're a writer, yet you're not going to proofread even the most simple line that you're writing in Reddit. Just it smacks of somebody who's not really paying attention. Okay, just to get that out of the way. I'm not knocking this person's creative input or what his ideas might be. He's not sharing his ideas, obviously. He's just saying, structurally, how should I go about this? And it's let's see. The title of it is this a sound strategy? ? And I'll answer that. No, this is not a sound strategy. Absolutely, positively not. You're going to go down a rabbit hole where you're building all this structure, but you're never going to get anything done. An artist that works on your comic book is going to spend hundreds and hundreds of hours. And if you're lucky enough to find somebody who's going to work for free or very little money, again, it's a long process where even the simplest 3, 4, 5 page sequence is going to take a very long time to put out. So if you're thinking about I'm just going to deal with one character, and then when that's done, I'll deal with another character, because you like your side characters so much, it's so ass backward, wrong thinking, driving yourself into a hole. And I see this time and time again with new comic book writers. They want to tackle the world, or they want to tackle this gigantic, enormous thing. And it just keeps cropping up time and time again. The real important thing that every creative person, not only just a comic book writer, but you could say an comic book artist, a cartoonist, a playwright, an actor, a screenplay writer, a novelist, all of them. It's the story that really drives everything forward. The thing that people can relate to, people can have a stake in, and an audience can have an interest in and want to follow it, want to see what happens next in the story. It's not rocket science. It's a very, very basic concept. Dial that back to like what's the most memorable thing that you remember is as an audience, as somebody, a comic book you read, a movie you watched, a play that you sat in on, a music video maybe from back in the day, or a song, or anything that really stuck in your mind. And I will guarantee you that it was the story that it told that first attracted your attention, and not the structure, not the characters, not what they wore, not what era it's set in, or the genre, or any of those things. So my advice for this writer is to dispense completely with the idea of mounting an entire comic book based on a character, but instead go work through the story first. Preferably, and this sounds like it sounds like it's the wrong kind of thinking, but come up with the ending first, okay? The first thing that pops in my mind, the Ryan Gosling movie with Bryan Cranston and Albert Brooks, Drive. You remember from years and years ago. He's a driver who drives a getaway car for people who want to pull off heists. During the nighttime, he makes money on that. During the daytime, he's a mechanic for a guy in a garage, and then he's a stunt driver in Hollywood. Okay. But the ending of that movie is he helps out the guy who got sprung from jail, but he dies, and now his wife and child are in danger, but she's so afraid of this man's violent world that the two of them are never going to have a relationship together. So at the end of the movie, all his choices is to kill all the bad guys and to keep the woman and her child, her boy, safe. Okay? Now, if you were writing a story like that, where there's a lot of action, it's set in the present day, there's stakes, there's characters that are flawed, there's characters that are weak, like the woman and the child. If you started writing that with the idea of, okay, at the end of the day, at the end of everything, the girl and her son need to be healthy, happy, and, well, not happy, but they need to be able to walk away and get on with their lives. Okay? That frees you up with what you put in everything in the beginning. It really does. I mean, it really, truly does. So this writer here, who's talking about mounting entire comic books based on characters, that's the wrong thinking. The better kind of thinking is to say, when, let's say, my main character does this and dies in the attempt, or my main character lives in the attempt but people die because of, or my main character accomplishes this but at the cost of that, and that's the end of my story. This guy, I guarantee you, this guy will free his mind up, free everything up, and your comic book could be 20 pages long, it could be 120 pages long. It all depends on where you want to pull back and start your story so it gets to that end. And that really is the right mindset to approach in especially comic books, but I would say it would apply to any kind of creative endeavor. So really, whether you got the 3-act structure, the inciting moment, all that stuff, that's fine if you want to approach that or not. That's fine, whatever you want to do. But really just pare it down, boil it down to just simply I have this idea for a story, and this is how it's going to end. And now I'm going to pull back and start putting stuff that will fill out the beginning there. And the wonderful thing about working like that is it's very general, it's very basic, it's very broad, and you haven't worked out all the details yet. And when you get down to the details, now you have a sense of how far in depth detail should I go with each part of the of my story, okay? And then you can put in the fun, interesting stuff. Because it would be really sad if you created, okay, let's say you had the energy to create this as he wanted to do it, the character thing, and you had this entire comic book based on this character who had every detail mapped out in his life and everything. Now you're moving on to the second comic book. Here's another side character, every detail about their life. And now you run out of energy. And now you're on the third one, and you're kind of just like throwing it in there really fast just to get it done. So the level of quality goes lower and lower, and the returns you're getting back creatively get lower and lower, and you start hating this whole thing because the little boss in your head, back when you hatched this idea, said, create the world first, create an entire world. And you know what? You can't create a world. But there are worlds already created for you. And if you discipline yourself to say, it's just going to be these characters, this outcome, this ending here, and then I'm done, then you can go back and start putting stuff in. I hope that's helpful for him. I hope I'm steering him away from the epic disease that every new writer gets, of wanting to create a new epic. Okay, that out of the way. Now let's get on to the video screen grab critique of a really funny comic book that has a new ideas, new comic books. It's not the most professional, but it really entertained me. It's called MENE GENE. Let's get on that right now. Sent to Reddit, and let's see if I can. MENE GENE Official is the author of this. Okay, that's all I have to go from. And I'm reading this for the first time as I'm showing it to you. So I don't have any pre-knowledge about this. I just first kind of flipped through it a little bit. But it stood out as something that's a little unique in that it's got the story about a truck driver, and it's very, very well rendered here. Okay, the exciting first chapter. He's one bad mother trucker. All right, so he's on his truck. Pretty good establishment here. And we go, the gridlock green city is no place for a truck driver. Move it, honk honk. In the wilderness, one can move freely, but with that freedom goes a whole new set of challenges. Okay, so this is, again, really well done. The structure is established, gets a lot of stuff out of the way. And now, after, before page 1, or the first page is a splash, but this is page 2. Before page 2 is done, we have our setup. And we're going to be out in the country, and trouble will brew. Okay, so, and here's people watching. He's got this iconic kind of weird Pokemon kind of symbol here, but that's good because then now it kind of ties in the truck. His character, his cap has that logo. Okay. I didn't think it'd be so huge. What do you think it's hauling? Only one way to find out. Are you sure you're ready? Of course I am, Uncle Matchbook. Being a turtle bandit ain't easy. It's okay if you want to sit this one out. Alright, so what the hell's a turtle bandit? Let's go here. I'm ready. Well, okay. Thunk, thunk. Okay, well... yeah, this is a little puzzling how he got inside this turtle thing, but okay. It just is. And again, it's a really good ending for this page that he's going to be throwing. Hopefully this is if it's ever going to be printed in a book, this would be an odd numbered page, so this would be the page turn. But If it's for the web and every single page has got uh, a turn or a cliffhanger, what have you, at the end. In other words, you don't see what's happening on the following page. That's fine. But I like how this page has a setup. I also like the armpit hair and the kind of he's got the turtle shell as well. What did he call himself? Let's back up. A turtle bandit. Okay, so now the mother trucker is going to be attacked by the turtle bandits. Whoosh. I might have gone differently here. I get what he's doing. He's throwing his son or sidekick way out to hit this truck, but the other 3 panels here are fine. Eleanor was a girl, maybe? Okay. Oh, and he's got roller skates on. Okay, good. So that he can catch up to what's happening here on his roller skates. But yeah, this first panel I might have flipped that and made the turtle big and him small. Did you say something? No. Oh. Thud. Jesus, what was that? No way. Ha 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 ha. What? She's stuck. Oh, it is a girl. Okay. She's stuck. This is a hard panel to pull off. He's got his head stuck out of the truck and he's looking back, and she's been thrown so hard that she's stuck into the body of the truck. Hey Jane, I thought turtle bandits were supposed to be tough and smart. Once I get down from here, I'll show you, Eleanor. And now, okay, here comes the dad telling Eleanor to tuck into your shell. And is he flying or is he... There's a lot of lines on it. Yeah, he is flying. Okay, he's got magic flying powers. Now he's kicking her out. She's tucking in her shell. And now he's got a baseball bat. Where did he get that? I don't know. But this is a kind of comic where things just will appear. Yeah, structurally, this is really succeeding because I'm following everything here without questioning it in my head. I don't have a lot to critique about, just that one panel where the older turtle guy was throwing his daughter. But now she's, and I love the worry eyes inside here, down here, and the teardrops. That's funny too. But he batted her out into the sky. You'll pay for that. I'm the last guy you want to pick a fight with, pal. Yeah, who are you? You can call me Mean Gene. Really well done down here. Sometimes you don't need a word balloon. Sometimes the words are so freaking big and awesome that they tell their own story. I've done that too sometimes, where a character is going like, shut the hell up, and the words are just behind them or big, So that's Mean Gene, okay. Okay, I see what he's trying to do. Like he hits him in the shell, like on the shoulder. This could have been done a little differently to sell this, but it's okay. I give it a B+, but all right. My friend, I'm a turtle bandit. What do you think this shell is for? Well, you didn't exactly hit him right on the shell, like on the shoulder, maybe. Maybe if this guy, like, pulled his arms, legs, and head into the shell, and then Mean Gene tried to hit him and hit him and hit him and hit him with the baseball bat, but got tired doing it because now he's invulnerable. That could have been done that way, maybe. But oh, okay. Woohoo! I love this, and it leaves a big giant cartoon welt. Mean Gene, huh? I've never heard of you. And when I'm through with you, neither will anyone else. Okay. He hit him really hard, and it doesn't faze him. But it doesn't seem like he would. This should be something that really messes him up. But okay. And then, oh, okay, there's somebody else behind him. Once this turtle bandit sees him, he goes, sorry, I'm going to go away. Dang it, Jane. What are you doing out of the truck? That's a girl. Okay, because it looks like sideburns here, but that's supposed to be an old lady, Jane. Okay, with a mechanical hand. Hey, I just wanted to watch the fight. Well, you scared him away. Don't worry, there'll be plenty more opportunities to beat people up. I didn't think having a famous teacher would suck so much. So he saw the teacher, and now he's retreated. Okay. But, oh, okay, he's going to come back now. He's skating and skating. And then Eleanor got beat way out here. I'm so dizzy, that kid. I wonder he'd do against the worm. What? No, Eleanor, don't. And she's whistling. Okay. Another good ending of a page. We're going to see the next monster, what have you. Let's take a look at it. Rumble, rumble, crack, boom! Oh, okay, it's like Dune, only it's like a furry dog worm thing with big giant teeth. Yeah, this is great. This is really well done. Again, there's nothing puzzling or questioning here, and the tiny truck, I like that. Gulp. But all we gotta do is wait for the worm to poop, and recovering it should be a breeze. Oh, the cargo, right. But the problem is, yeah, the worm swallowed the woman. Okay. And there she comes, like, oh God, yeah. Exploding out of the worm, and she's got mechanical everything except her right arm. Mechanical legs and left arm. Calamity Jane. All right, it would be a Calamity Jane. Splork. And again, they devoted almost this whole page here to a splash panel with 2 reaction inset panels. And I like how his word balloon just becomes like a lower title almost. Like the tail goes in there. Everything here is graphically well thought out and well planned and very clear to read. Okay, now we're on the last page. And the guy wins. Yeehaw! And the truck, and she goes back into the truck. This is all my fault. That poor worm. Oh yeah, the worm had to suffer. No, Eleanor, remember this lesson, but do away with your guilt. She was the one who killed the worm. Yet all's not lost. Look where that truck is headed. The wizard's apple grove? Precisely. Even she cannot hope to match the wizard of the woods. Again, really excellent setup for the next installment, next problem. And the idea of a truck that just simply drives on any old patch of land is interesting. But this cartoon, it's like my cartoon, my rules, so I get it. And let's just recap here. Let's build it back. Okay. So the splash panels, the big panels, serve a purpose, and things very clear and concise. And I like, again, how he got the world building out of the way. And he's a truck driver, but he's now in the country. And again, the symbol that kind of reinforces this truck driver, who he is. And there's a nice economy to the story. A few clunky things, like I don't understand how Eleanor got put inside the turtle shell, but I understand the concept of they attack people by becoming a missile, a shell, and a projectile. Okay, and it's supposed to destroy the truck, but instead it just gets stuck in the truck. So there's a lot of really good action here. There's a back and forth. He smacks Yeah, these are a good use of large panels for the action. Um, Before I go here, I'm almost finished. The last thing I'd like to say is this is a tricky one to pull off. And usually, like down here, is where it should be. It works okay, but I think it would work better if he was in full swing with his bat and somehow that turtle had gotten smacked and started its trajectory into, outer space. This right here is what I'm talking about, because they say in comics with throwing a punch or hitting something big or causing any kind of big event or any kind of massive movement of material, you should always show the end result. You show it just moments after it's been happened. You should show the guy having thrown the punch and his victim, his face turned away from being hit by the punch. The reader will, in their imagination, fill in the previous split second before that happened. Because what happens is sometimes visually this could look like he has a big splash of glue sticking the turtle shell to the bat, right? Because it's not moving, it's a static image, and this is precisely the moment of impact, but it could also be misread as being glued to the bat. The next panel refutes all that and makes it very clear that he hit this person. So this sequence here, I'd give it a B plus. It's a little better than average, and it does serve the story. But this kind of action, typically in comics, you see just a split second or two after the big hit. And graphically, those can work a little bit better sometimes. And then again with the bat. And again right here, yeah, this was a little bit of a difficult sell for me. I didn't understand right away that the shell is the least vulnerable part of his body. And then I had a question of why didn't then he just simply hide everything in his shell? So this sequence, it works okay, but it may have been done differently, where maybe the villain with the shell tucked himself in, and Mean Gene tries to hit him and hit him and hit him and hit him with the bat, but to no avail. And maybe, who's the other one again? Jane. Maybe Jane pops out of the truck, and then the turtle guy sticks his head up out of shock and recognition. Then Gene could have smacked him with the baseball bat. So it could have gone that way. And then he temporarily gives him a setback and defeats him, and then he chases him away because he sees Jane. But then they go back and they get the worm, and the worm is like a big worm / dog. So yeah, all in all, I'd say this comic works really well in that you have a hero and a villain, and the stakes obviously are the contents in the truck, and the villain wins a little bit, but then the hero wins a little bit, and then the villain ultimately loses, and the worm really loses, but then the setup is for the next conflict to happen in the apple grove. That's it. Thank you very much, Mean Gene Official, and I hope to be reviewing another comic on my YouTube video very, very soon. Thank you for watching. I hope this was entertaining for you. Once again, I'm having a Kickstarter that's going to be happening in mid-December called Kill the Messenger, sponsored by Chupacomics and Tim Larson. You can just simply go on Kickstarter and search TIMLARSEN. You could also search Mayfield 8. It's EIGHT, not the number 8. And that was my past comic book series. If you want to see the track record history I have, in December there'll be a Kickstarter for a new comic book, and I hope to see you there.